So if we summarize, the range means more than one cell or group of cells, either consider vertically or either horizontally. So let's begin now with the macro or the VBA. So go to developer tab, then here is my Visual Basic. Let me minimize it. So I have told you what is the short node and what is the indenting. So let's begin. Just delete it. Okay. Now what we will do, we will cover, let me now it is pretty cool. So whether it is a range, first understand whether it is a range. A1, yes, because one or more cell is a range. Okay, whether it is a range, yes. Why I'm focusing on theory part? Because when we will deal with the cell object, then you will get confused between the range and the cell. So cell means only one cell and range means one or more cell. So let me select the cell. I am going to select the cell through my code. What is the cell? A column to D column and one row to first row to third row. So I will select these cells through VBA. So when you are using VBA, then you have to care on your steps. Your steps means, suppose when you are using Excel, then how can you do the selection? Just go to A1, then press shift right arrow, right arrow, right arrow, then down arrow, down arrow. So we have to write every step in VBA like Excel. So let me start. Here is the range object. Range, open parentheses. Now see the arguments. Here is the argument cell 1 and cell 2. So you have to mention your cell 1. See, whenever you are using any text in your programming language, then you have to mention your text into double quotes. So I am mentioning my text. So this, what is the cell? A1. So I am mentioning my A1 cell into my double quotes because A1 is the name, and if you will type A1 in this cell, then Excel will not consider it since it is a name. Excel cannot consider your name, my name, even the cell name. So I am mentioning the name into double quotes. So and any text should be mentioned in the double quotes, and any number can be mentioned without double quotes. So range, so here is the upper limit and here is the bottom limit. What is the last cell of our range? D3. So D3 double quotes close parentheses. So now my range argument is complete. If we again type this, let me again show you cell 1 and cell 2 as range. So it is asking for please type your lower cell then your upper cell so that we can consider a range. And why we have mentioned our range into double quotes? Because A1 and G3 both are names. So close parentheses. Then I have already told you that VBA use dot notation to work on every code. So what I'm going to do, I am just going to select the cell A1 to D3. Select. So here is the select. You can either double click on it, or the second option is you can type the whole, or the third one you can just press the tab key from your keyboard. So tab, now enter. See, my code is into auto capitalize. My code has auto capitalized, so my code is right. Let me run through. The two shortcut for run is here in the VB. First one is F5. F5 basically run your whole code. Suppose you are writing your code and you want to run your whole code, then you can just simply press F5. Or if you want to run your code line by line, suppose you are facing an error in a VBA, then you can press F8 key to run by run your code. So I am running one by one. So select any cell, then go to here, press F8. So see, the yellow highlighter is showing that my debugging is has been started. So F8 again, F8, F8. So after the ends up, my code will go into end. So now it is working properly. Let me, now I want to enter the value in these cells A1 to D3. I want to enter my name, so you can just change here. Now this time either you can like this, type right this, please VBA select my A1 to D3 cell, then type selection. Then what you want to do with selection, selection dot value equal to my name is Vikal Jain. So enter. Now see, again my code has gone into auto capitalize mode. Why I am entering my name into double quotes? Because Excel cannot understand my name. So let's press again F8, 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 F8. Now see, my range is filled with my name. Okay, so you can either select this through method, or the shortcut way of doing this, when you, the basic rule of math, if we mention this line of code in the numerator and this line of code in the denominator, then this selection and this selection will cut as per the math rule. So what I'm going to do, just delete it, dot. So end. Now I have shortened my code again, delete it, then let me finish my code first, F8. Now my code has finished. Let again select any cell, then run F8, 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 F8. So I have written one line only this time. Okay, so range, allow you to play with the range. Okay, so the alternative of range property I'm going to show you. Delete. Okay, you can select your range like this also. This time I'm going to select my range from F1 to K5. So again, cell 1 and cell 2. Till now we are using a column. So now this time I'm going to use cell 1 comma cell 2 property. So mention your first cell in your range. My first cell is E1 or either F1, F1 or F1. Then double I have pressed enter. Double quotes. Cell 1 is the F1 and the last cell is K5. Double quotes K5, then close parentheses. Now I am mentioning my first cell in my range is F1 and my second cell of my range is K5. So George, what do you want to do with these cells? I am going to again enter a value equal to what you want to enter. This time I am entering my range. Okay, cool. So address enter. Again it has auto capitalized. So delete some spaces. I'm using indenting so that you will not confuse from my code. Just click here, press enter. Now it is looking pretty cool. This time press F5 or you can simply run your code through this button. Now you can see the shortcut here, F5. So click on it. Now are you saying that my code is working properly? Okay, so this one was the second alternative to select a range. Then if we talk about our book, then we have covered the range object. Okay, then we have covered VBA sub procedure. I have mentioned all thing, what is the macro name here, what is the VBA code here, and what is the sub procedure. So VBA always start with sub and end with sub. Between sub and end sub you have to mention your code. Then we have covered some range. Now I'm moving to name your ranges. Okay, so in Excel how do you name your ranges? Just click Control F3 or you can add new name like my range. So give the cell selection. My cell selection I'm giving this time this again A1 to D5. Click OK, close. Or you can just simply check your name here, my name, or the alternative of giving name is the that just select your range and type the name here, my range 2. Okay, so now you can see both name are available, my range and my range 2. Okay, then go to VBA code. Now I'm not using these upper and lower limit, I am using my name. So range double quotes open, my range double quote close, close parentheses, then select enter. This time I am going to run my code line by line, and I will select one range. I will select my this range first, then I will select my this range into second. So range, my range 2, double quote close, close parentheses, select. So this is the code. It means you can write multiple line of code in your sub or end sub. So let's try F8 to run your code line by line. F8. See, now Excel will select my range. F8. Okay, now it is working properly. Then again F8. Then F8 to complete your code. Okay, so now press F5. The last line of code is here. So now it is working properly. Okay, you can just change your value like this. Value first range, then here I want the value is second range. Okay, then enter, then again run by line. F8, 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 F8. Now you are seeing the Excel is working properly. Let me adjust the column width. Control A, double click, then now. Okay, this was the range property, range object concept. So three method to use the range object. First one, either you can mention your range like this, A1, oops, double quotes, A1, colon, B1, double quotes. Either you can mention your code like this, double quotes, A1, B1, double quotes, or the last but not the least, my range. Okay, so this is the secret of the range object. So let's move on the cell object. When we are talking about cell, then cell means only one cell. Now see the difference between range and cell. Hmm, let me select cell. Okay. Now it is asking for row index and column index. Basically, it want the row number and cell number, not the name. So you are entering this time number, so you should not mention the number in the double quotes. Okay, so suppose I'm selecting this cell C4. Okay, so what is my row number? Row number will be 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what is my column number? 1, 2, 3. So it is my row index number will be 4, comma, then column index number will be 3, then close parentheses, then select. Oops. Now see the auto capitalize mode. Okay, it is working properly. Press tab here, indenting. Okay, run this code. Click here, now run this code. So it is working properly. Row index means row number and column index means column number. You should either use your range object or either your cell object. Let's use both of them together. Okay, So range, I'm using both of them together. I will select to C2 to F5. So what is the, and you can use range or cell object like this, same as Excel if you are using if formula and VLOOKUP formula. So C2, what is the row index of the C2? C2, what is the row number? 2. Okay, what is the column index number for C? 1, 2, 3. 3, close parentheses, C. Till yet we have select only first cell, comma. Now the second cell will be F5. What is the, again type the cell. What is the row number for F5 here? F5 5. Then what is the column number for F5? 6. Then close parentheses. Now the cell properties has gone into end, and we have to end your range property also. See, now it is not closed till yet, it is highlighted in the highlighted mode. So close parentheses. Then what do you want to do with your range? I want to select again, press tab, then enter. All code has auto capitalized, it means my code will run properly. Press run. Okay, it means two or more objects can be used simultaneously to run our code. Okay, then this is the cell property and this is the range property. So let's move on some two other property which is used either by range object or cell object. That one is offset. See, when you have to mention your short node, then you must use a quote offset property. Oop. Then I will write here range property. Okay, so what the offset do? Offset allows you to relocate your current cell. So what I'm going to do, I will select my range from A1 to C3. Then I will move my range from, first I will select these cells, then I will move my range to these cells. Okay, so what is the selection criteria? Range A1 colon C3 code close parentheses, then select dot select, enter. Don't forget the indenting, then selection. I'm using offset this time. See, offset, what offset will do, it will relocate your cell position. So offset, you must enter your code in small alphabets to check your code again and again. I'm not using any caps or shift key to writing my code. So selection dot offset, then 1 comma 1, then close parentheses. Oops, I think I have mentioned some wrong code. So what is the error here? Offset property should be before the selection. So delete this. Offset 1 comma 1, close parentheses, then select, press tab. Sorry.
Now press F8, F8. See, my current range is A1 to C3. Now see the answer. It is working properly. Okay. So now we are going to select the first. I will select this G3 to G5. Then I will offset it to B1 to E4. Oops, Control Z. Yeah, border. So what will be code? So range. Control Z. Let me select. So here is the code. I'm going to cheat. So this one should be the. So first enter your range. What is my range? G3 to G5. So I'm editing my old range. D3 to G5. Okay, now how many rows do you want to switch it up? One, two. So enter the two. So you are switching this time into up. So enter the negative number 2. So the rule is when you are going down, then you have to enter the positive number, and when you are going up, then you have to enter the negative number. So how many column do you want to switch? I want to switch one column, then two column. Minus 2. Okay, then first let me segregate these code. Control C, I'm cheating. Control V, delete offset from here. Delete. Now select. Oops, let me go to my VBA again. Here's the VBA. So press F8, 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 F8. So my old range is working properly. F8. I think I have done some mistake. Yep. Here is the 3 rows and here is the 4 rows. So these box is wrong. Okay, then F8 to exit. Then the resize property allow you to resize your range. Suppose you have selected one range and you want to select your two range. So then basically the question come into mind, then why we are using these offset or range? Because think as a programmer, not as a user. When suppose user has enter data here. Okay, user want to enter the data over here, and he wants always the result in these cells. Then how will you move from these cells to these cells? Then you have to use your offset property, right? So this is the basically concept for using offset and range, because these range are fixed for the user and these range are fixed for the user for result. Okay, so let me again resize my range. This time I am resizing my range. So let me clear the box. Now border. So resize basically do um, here's your old range. I want to resize my range to this. this one. First I will select this range, then I will resize my range to 2 rows broader. So range, my just copy and paste it. Control select your code, paste, indenting. So d3 to g5, d3 to g5. I want to resize my 2 rows. I'm rectifying. So here is d3, g5. How many rows? 1, 2, 3. And how many rows do you want to select this time? Till yet we have selected. Again, come to here first. So this is the our old range. Okay. So we want to select our range to this. So old range has 4 columns and 3 rows. We want to resize our old range to 5 rows to 4 column. So type 5 rows, then 4 column, then we close parentheses, then select this, enter, press F, click anywhere, F8. Now all range is selected, so press F8. See, the code is working properly. So this is the again in another example. Delete, then this time I'm selecting this range. First I want to increase my range to this one. So my old range is range codes I2 I2 colon J3 code close parentheses, then select, enter, range I2. Why I'm typing these line of code 2 times? Because I want to show my old code to you and new code to you. What is the advantage of resize property? So code close parentheses, then resize. Okay, then how many rows we have? 1, 2, and 2 column we have. Now we want to increase our rows to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 5 rows, comma, then how many columns? 6, close parentheses, then select. Now press F8, 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 F8. So old range has selected, then F8. My new range has selected, F8. Now the last topic of this chapter is active cell property. So suppose it is my active cell. Active cells means where your cursor are. My cursor is on G9. Here's my cursor. Now my active cell is B3 because here's my cursor. I want to select my range to active cell to F4. Suppose my cursor is here, so I want to select my range to this. And suppose my cursor is here, I want to select my range to F4. Till F4 we have to select our range. Our cursor is here, so I want to select my range to F4. F4. So this is the active cell. So let me change it. Range. Now I am typing upper limit as active cell, then comma. Then it means active cell exists in the VBA. Okay. then F4 is the name. You have to mention the name into double quotes, close parentheses, then select, enter. Now press. Now what is my active cell? I3, run F5, F4. Now my active cell is N4, run code. Okay, working properly. Now my cell is A1, active cell is A1, F8, 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 F8. So this is the active cell. We have covered some range, cell properties, offset properties, resize properties, and active cell properties. So we will discuss some cool, pretty things in later chapters.